Yo, what's going on? It's Casual Expert Sports. I'm the Casual Expert, but you can call me Manny, and I'm here for a Week 2 NFL recap. We're doing a recap today. Y'all thought it was a prediction. It's a recap. I'm doing recaps now, alright? Because I love talking about football, and we've been having a lot of great fucking games, so I'm going to sit here and I'm going to talk about all the games, some more than the others, because I'm not going to lie, some of these were kind of boring. But this week was actually a crazy-ass week, maybe better than Week 1. Hella close games. Hella field goals for the win, for the loss, and a lot of shit went down. I'm recording this on Monday because I thought it would be better to get the recap done after NFL Sunday rather than like waiting for the Monday night game and then uploading on Tuesday. Like, that's too long. You guys don't want to wait. You guys want to hear what I got to say right now. So I wrote some shit down, a lot of this off the top of the dome. But we're going to get started Week 2 on Thursday with the Giants and the Washington Redskins. Or the Washington football team. I still call them the Redskins. Until they get a real fucking name, the Redskins is still going to be stuck in my head. So, Heineke started his first time this season, and they dubbed off of a fluky-ass call. They missed the field goal at the end, but then the Giants had neutral zone infraction or some shit, false start or some shit. So Washington got to re-kick it. Boom. You know, they made that shit, and that's it for that one. So Heineke, I'd say he's quality starter for the Washington football team for this season at least, and they got him on a really cheap deal. But is the Washington football team defense a fraud, bro? They let up 29 points. They let up 29 points to the New York Giants, so they might be frauds on that aspect. Slayton, he sold. He should have caught that deep ass bomb, and that would have given the Giants a bigger cushion. But that was just a good game in general, and definitely Daniel Jones's best game of his fucking career. He was really Danny Dimes out there for a good majority of the game. But Heineke was ripping that motherfucker. So when it's all said and done, the football team won. All right, next game I want to talk about, which is the game that I watched the entirety of because I'm a Bears fan. Cincinnati versus Chicago, bro. I watched the whole thing, and I got everything I want to say about it. And I'm just gonna go off. All right. First things first. There was a lot of QB injuries this season, or this week. My fault. This week, starting QBs, a lot of them got injured. Starting with Andy Dalton, it looked a little severe, maybe not too much, but so far, from what I've seen reports, is that it's not no ACL or nothing, and he should be fine. But Dalton got out, and Fields was in. So what do I think about how Fields played? He played for the whole second half and a little bit of the second quarter. He had no type of rhythm, bro. He had like 2 false starts where he was just trying to move before he even like got the snap. So he really had no rhythm in that aspect. A lot of people are trashing on him because he had he was like 6 for 10. With like 60 yards. I'll pull it up. 6 for 13 with 60 yards and an interception. When you look at that stat line, you say that's not good at all. But he also had like 25 or something rushing yards, and those rushing yards were very crucial, like first downs. Like it was a 3rd and 9 in the 4th, and he scrambled for a first down, and that was a crucial first down. So in that aspect, that was like really good because if that was Andy Dalton and no one's open, Andy Dalton would get sacked. But Justin Fields, he's got the wheels a little, so no one was open. He got a first down, and that was pretty clutch. Realistically, though, he should have had 1 touchdown for sure. A-Rob, that went right through his hands. But he should have had like 1 to 2 touchdowns, but we didn't get them, so they just ended up as field goals. Our defense came to play, but to be honest, it's the Bengals, so we should have done what we did to them. Let's just hope that they show up when we really need them against good teams. That'll make us pay for not scoring touchdowns. And Burrow, he was having a good game, kind of. They were moving the ball, but they just really couldn't get scoring. And then he threw in 3 interceptions in a row, so they just dug a big ass hole, and they just never got out of it. Joe Mixon, we contained him. Overall, it was a good game for the Bears, though. I'd say, minus the 2 late touchdowns that were just kind of given to them, I'd say. Next game we got Raiders versus Steelers. I didn't watch much of this. I tuned in at the end, but what happened? Does Pittsburgh have no offense? I guess they're gonna start off slow. I predicted this in the beginning of the season that they would start off slow, and they are so far. But to be honest, Derek Carr is balling through the first 2 weeks. Usually though, the Raiders do start pretty decent. So I'm not super high on the Raiders quite yet, even though like their offense is like rolling. I'm not high on them because in the last 2 seasons they finished off the season 1-5 and then like 2-5. So they always find a way to blow it at the end when all the teams are in form. And there was a lot of injuries for Pittsburgh, including T.J. Watt. So injuries are a big play in team success. So I'm not completely sold on that Raiders win. It was a good, Carr had a good game, another good game, really good game. But the Steelers' wasn't working and their defense wasn't at full throttle. So you know what, Steelers fans, I wouldn't be too worried. But yeah, next game is going to be a real quick one. We got Buffalo, Miami. Buffalo just blew the fuck up out of them. 35-0, sacks, bro. They were just dominating Tua. Hurt his rib. Hopefully he'll be back because they really need him. Brissett tried, you know what I'm saying? He couldn't do much, but 35-0 it was just a Buffalo domination. It was good for the Buffalo Bills to come back after that fluky-ass week 1. Get an easy dub in the division. Next up, we got San Francisco versus Philadelphia. Defensive brawl. That's why the score was 17-11. Hella low. Hella third down stops. Blocked field goals. And then Philadelphia tried that goofy Philly special. Didn't work. And I believe on that same drive, they went for it on 4th. Didn't work. Turnover on downs. 0 points on that drive. On that drive, they also had like a 90-something yard reception or some big-ass number. I don't exactly know if it was 90, but it was a big-ass gain. They got down to the goal line, and like I said, they went out on all 4 downs. Jimmy had a decent game, and it was enough to get the W over the 11 score for Philadelphia. So, GG, San Francisco's undefeated. Next up, we got New England versus the New York Jets. Alright, so this is a big topic for the whole football world. Zach Wilson is a bust. I mean, that's what it seems like. Or at least when you put someone in a New York Jets like team, scheme, anything, they're just set up for failure. Like Sam Darnold, he didn't look good at all. That's why he's not on the team anymore. But he's kind of doing better on his new team, which we'll get to a little bit later. But Sam Darnold, my boy, was out here throwing whatever the fuck he wanted to throw, bruh. And 4 interceptions. He had 3 in the first half. He was seeing ghosts out there. Bill Belichick was just absolutely feasting on that little kid. So it sucks for him, bro. He's not in Utah anymore, so he can't really get away with all of this just crazy-ass throws that he's trying to make. They're just not going to fly, especially against New England defense. They got good corners. But New England, I'd say they got a solid win. Their D was swarming. Mac had a good game, another good game for him. So 2 weeks in a row, looking pretty decent for Mac Jones. The run game, they went crazy. Damian Harris had a beastquake, the best beastquake so far, I'd say, of the season. And that was a wrap for the Patriots. It was a good bounce back dub. Good bounce back dub for the Patriots. All right, next up we got Texas versus Cleveland. Texans, my fault. Texans. You got to feel bad for Tyrod Taylor, man. He's another starter that got injured. They put in Davis Mills. He went 8 for 18, which is a little bit inconsistent, with 102 yards, a touchdown, and an interception. Cleveland, they started to roll near the end of the game, and then they never looked back. So you got to think, maybe if Tyrod Taylor didn't get hurt, they might have won that game. Because to be honest, Cleveland's defense could not stop the Houston Texans, which is crazy. And the Texans were in there because of turnovers. Cleveland was turning the ball over. But in the end, the Cleveland Browns won. They won the second half, and that was all they needed to do to win the football game. So, yeah. Next, we got Denver versus Jacksonville. I posed this question for everybody. Is Denver really, all that? They beat the Jacksonville Jaguars this week. And then last week, the Broncos beat the Giants, and the Giants had, a really bad offensive game. So I posed the question, are the Broncos really that good, with that 2-0 record? Trevor Lawrence is having hella growing pains. This man is not doing very well. They had a nice first drive. They scored, but besides that, it was, a little bit worse than that first drive. Jacksonville missed field goals. And then Teddy Two Gloves Bridgewater just, did what he had to do to win that game. They're 2-0. They're at the top of their division, for now at least. Actually, they're behind the Raiders. I guess the Raiders have it over them with point differential or some bullshit. However, they decide that. But I don't think Denver's going to keep it up like this. Like I said, they played 2 weak teams. So if they actually get some comp like within their division, I don't think they'll win those games. So for now, you guys, Denver fans, be happy 2-0. But that's for now. All right, next game we got Minnesota versus Arizona, which is probably one of the craziest games, one of the crazier games of the season. You know, when the game comes down to the line and you send a Minnesota Vikings kicker out there to hit a game winner, you know he's going to miss that motherfucker. He missed it, bro. It was like a 30-yarder, routine. He should have made it. He absolutely fucked it. And they lost the game. They lost the game. Kirk had a good game. There were hella big plays in that game. Murray was just chucking that bitch at times, which caused some interceptions. But it seems like he's like fearless at this point. So I posed a question out for myself. Was I wrong about the Cardinals? I said that they were going to miss the playoffs, but right now they're 2-0. Quality win against the Vikings and a very dominant win against the Titans. So they might be the real deal. Who knows? But a missed field goal by the Vikings. They lose. They're 0-2 now. So they're like near the bottom of the division. We'll see what happens after Monday. The Cardinals got to win. And shit, however you get it, the midget will take it. Aight. Next game, Atlanta versus Tampa Bay. Brady is MVP so far. This man's going off. He's on a mission. He's throwing touchdowns to everybody and their moms. He's getting yards. He's throwing the ball like fucking 40-plus times. Like, he does not care. He is doing it like he is 22 years old. That's the crazy part about it. This man's like 40-4. And their defense was swarming. Excuse me. They did a lot better this week against the Falcons than they did last week against the Cowboys. So that helped them out a lot, even though the Falcons still put up 25, you know what I'm saying? They still had those turnovers. And that really decided the game for the most part. Also, you have the GOAT, so like, what the fuck? You expect to lose to the fucking Falcons when you're the GOAT? When you got the GOAT on your team? 28-3. 28-3, guys. The Falcons don't mean shit to Tom Brady. 28-3. All right, next we got Tennessee versus Seattle, which was another crazy game that came down to the last field goal. It was a great game, great-ass game, fucking crazy offense. Tennessee offense came back together. They got Henry to fucking feast. And when you get Henry to feast, the rest of the team eats. So Henry, 35 carries, 182 yards, and 3 touchdowns, bro. 3 touchdowns. This man cooked in fantasy. He had 40-plus, bro. I had to play Derrick Henry in fantasy. Cooked my ass. He was eating big time. And it came down to the wire. The Seahawks missed the extra point, which would have given them 31 points. And then Tennessee, last second, 36-yard field goal. They make it. They tie it. So now it's like, was the missed extra point what sold? You know what I'm saying? He missed it, the Seahawks kicker. So that put him up 30-16 with 13 minutes left. And then, the Titans come back. They score a touchdown. They score another touchdown. And then they score the field goal in the end of the game for the win. So if they made that extra point, they would have never been in that position. But let's talk about the overtime. That should have been a safety 100% on Russell Wilson. He was in the end zone. I don't know what the fuck the refs were talking about, like forward progress at the 1-yard line, blah blah blah. I mean, the Titans won, so that's all that matters. But in my opinion, that was definitely a safety. And then Russ to Lockett is fucking cute as fuck. They're out here dominating. That duo with the deep ball, they're going crazy. Where's DK at? I don't fucking know. DK who? But they're the first NFC West team to take an L. The Rams won. The Cardinals won. The 49ers won. Seattle, do better. What the fuck is wrong with you? All right, next we got Dallas versus the fucking Chargers, man. I'm not even a Chargers fan, and I hated watching this game. I was so mad. The Chargers just lost on flags, bro. Both offenses were struggling, but the Chargers sold on flags, and they lost for that reason. I don't want to talk about it, bro. I was mad watching that game, and I'm not a Chargers fan. Rams, Indianapolis, bro. Defensive battle. Wentz got hurt. You got to feel bad for him. Another starting QB gets hurt, and then Eason comes in at the end of the fourth quarter. Throws a pick, sells the game. Jalen Ramsey's a hero. That's that right there. It was a defensive battle, like I said, so not as high a scoring game. The Baltimore Ravens' talent is depleting. They have so many players on the IR list, so they got to come out and ball as hard as they can every single week. But that's it for week 2 recap. I'll talk about the Monday night game when I do my predictions video in the beginning of it, just real quick. I wanted to do these like on Mondays, like I said, after NFL Sunday. I'll do try to find a format where I can do these things faster, because I don't think you guys want to sit through like 20 minutes. So maybe I'll pull like one thing from each video so I can do it real quick. But I hope you guys enjoyed this one. I'll catch you guys later, and get ready for the week 3 predictions.